This is Dan Bongino's Welcome Back. It just happened, and this is exactly why I've been busting his balls nonstop. Especially because he had the nerve to so quickly go back to podcasting after he left the FBI, as if he's had to do it or something. This guy's worth $125 million. So I don't know why he even wanted to come back and make a fool of himself, but he did. Let's go.
When it comes to the story of the decade that is breaking, that everyone's talking about, that he addressed a little bit, as of course he has a lot of knowledge, a lot of information about the Epstein stuff, as he hinted at some, quote, tough decisions being made. We're going to be playing that clip, as of course some people are very excited about Dan being back, and some people are not, as of course this perfectly represents the bifurcation that's happening amongst the right-wing type of movement, as I think there's a lot of people being very critical here, and I do believe there are
they need to be critical. I mean, what the hell? How often did we go against the left and mainstream media for lying to our face? And it's bad enough to lie to our face as a freaking podcaster, but to do it as an FBI agent, that's just unforgivable, I think. Especially because you got everyone... You did all this pissing people off thinking that you were legit and you got rich from it. And then you just stabbed them in the back.
Thanks. Not on that platform. We'll get into that conversation in a little bit here, while also getting into specific clips and the greater kind of conversation that I think is needed right now with the Epstein story that, of course, is breaking. Now, did we get anything new? Did we get anything fascinating? Well, there's still a bunch of old stuff.
Look, guys, he didn't need to come back. Like, he's worth $125 million. He came back, that's his arrogance. He thought he could do whatever, lie to our face, come back and do good. This is all about ego. This has nothing to do with necessity. He's rich. So, and here's another thing that's actually like twisting the knife, is that he lied to all of us, made fools out of all of us, and not for the first term Trump, which was not too bad, but the second term Trump, which is a disgusting, backstabbing establishment now. So that makes it even worse, that he would lie and destroy his name for what? Some guy who's just like John McCain? Get the hell out of here.
That I think is important to bring up when it comes to the context of this, as of course I have the receipts, I have not forgot, and this is a conversation that I think needs to happen more than ever. If you agree, subscribe, click the notifications, and doubt, as other people are saying, look at the view numbers. Other people are saying, well, those view numbers, I don't know about those. Mark Levin says, great to have my brother Dan Bongino back, as Dan Bongino came back and then automatically declared war on the black pillars.
Look, we know why Mark Levin is kissing his ass, because he lied for Trump, and Trump is doing exactly what Mark Levin wants and other Zionists, which is do everything for that country that starts with the letter I. So no surprise that Mark Levin would defend Dan. If Dan told the truth, he would be going off about him.
Great to have my brother Dan Bongino back, as Dan Bongino came back and then automatically declared war on the black pillars, and then started retweeting attacks against Thomas Massie, Matt Gaetz, and other more kind of populistic, nationalistic figures on the right.
You guys who have balls unlike him.
Now aligns with the Mark Levin, the type of Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, more type of establishment people.
Yeah, Dan's going after the people, the guys who actually had real balls, and not a coward like him. He hates them for making him look bad, because they were doing their job and he wasn't.
On the right, as Mark Levin says, he's a great patriot and a crucial voice.
Well, that should tell you guys something about these Zionists. Like, they are willing to let everyone cover up some disgusting atrocities just to get what they want. It didn't even matter. I mean, the files could have had something about a bunch of kids being mutilated or whatever. And it could have been worse than the Holocaust, and Mark Levin and all the other Zionists would say, they wouldn't have cared. That's how much they wanted to, how far they're willing to go to get what they want. I guess they're more important than humanity.
We'll get into that. Quote, at a time like this, when we are fighting Marxist and Islamist, a radical Democrat Party, domestic and global tyranny, and a tough midterm election fight. Yeah, it's not looking good for the midterms. We said that. And
I'll vote Democrat just what Trump did.
They're not going. It's just not going to happen. predominantly because of the Epstein stuff that I've been predicting. We're still a long time away from it. Very vast radical changes could happen that could change the landscape, but it's pretty clear here that the Epstein stuff had a very negative, crucial role on a lot of the people who are in the middle, a lot of the people who don't usually vote, that are saying, I'm just totally blackpilled. Why are they blackpilled? Bongino made the blackpill. Partly. Quote, there's nobody better than our dear friend Dan Bongino. Welcome back, Dan. You are a stellar in chasing criminals as deputy FBI director, except for when they're on the Epstein list and high-level Democratic Party initiative and high-level, very powerful deep state actors. Now back to chasing the radical leftists.
Leftists?
They're not in power, right? Now, this is what Mike Benz had to say. Mike Benz was...
You know the truth? My take on the left has actually gone higher. I've actually learned to appreciate the left more and hate the right, and hate them 10 times worse and like Democrats a little bit more. That's how bad everything's been.
Like, why is the FBI not doing anything specifically when it comes to potentially even sending a lot of agents down to Minneapolis in order to deal with all the people that are impeding federal law enforcement? Mike Benz is specifically coming out saying, look, the FBI could crack down on this. Look how the FBI cracked down on the J6ers.
Wrong country.
Right. So people are saying, well, when he was deputy FBI director, he could have cracked down on the radical leftists, especially the violent organized top-down type of organizations, the Soros, the Reid Hoffman, the type
That's true. It's not just the files. I mean, it was all the people on the left that he talked about on his show. The ones that are even saying now are radical leftists that are blah, blah, blah. He didn't even do that either. He literally did nothing and got paid for it, ironically. Just like his podcast. Podcast is easy. We just talk.
Billionaires, the big money players, the Bill Gates, the big guys that finance and organize and set all this up, that's leading to a huge violation of people's civil liberties, their rights to practice their religion. And we're getting that in a little bit of a way, but in reality, we're not getting anything legitimate, in my own personal opinion. Mark Levin, can't wait to watch it starting right now. Big PR push. Bobby Sauce at Take Naps has a little bit more of a critical approach here, saying, I can't wait for 10 a.m. to watch Dan Bongino finally hold the deep state accountable by calling everyone a loser that reads the 3 million files that didn't exist about the hoax he told us to never let go.
Oh, one more thing, guys. Even if the numbers were good, I'm not sure if they're really good or not, but that's because he had Trump on the first show back. That's why Trump did it. Trump knows that he helped destroy Dan Bongino's credibility and reputation. So he tried to help him out, but Trump doesn't. He lost his too, though. So.
And listen, Dan Bongino was a part of the cover-up. There's no lying about that. It is the truth.
How can anyone watch him again?
Absolutely, the official story makes total sense here. The FBI and the DOJ released a statement saying, "Let them see here, case closed, go away." And now he's bragging about cleaning up D.C. The legend comes back.
It's been a year. Your support meant so much to me. I went and cleaned up D.C. I really appreciate it. But the Dan Bongino Show is back February 2nd, Monday.
He aged horribly.
Eastern time, rumble.com/.
Now, okay, petty low-life criminals have been dealt with in D.C., but the real sociopathic, crazy, insane people in Washington, D.C. were never dealt with. D.C. is safer and cleaner for all the sociopathic...
But does people not understand this? The smaller, pettier criminals that Dan Bongino brags about getting rid of, that doesn't solve the root of the problem. The root of the problem are the people that he let go, that are mentioned in the files, and the globalists and the big people the powerful people on the left that he could have went after as FBI agent, because they are too much involved in our politics, skewing all the policies to where this economy turns to shit so they can benefit. And because of that, money's scarce, so people start doing petty crimes, and it just keeps picking up and going on from there. So even if he had 100% success rate taking off petty criminals in D.C. and wherever, it doesn't mean shit, because they're still, it's like assembly line. They're still pumping out more criminals because we're not getting rid of the root of the problem, which is the Trump types, billionaires that are destroying everything, and from crashing the stock market, pump and dump everything, crypto. They're doing everything to destroy it. So Diamond doesn't get credit for getting rid of any small criminals.
Deep state actors now. Great job. Oh, yeah, the FBI got a new building, too. The old one's not a museum. They upgraded. Oh, look at that. People who committed really horrible acts against individuals like Owen Schroyer are still in power. Look at that. Anyway, before getting into more clips here, because he really went on a profane
Owen Schroyer is awesome.
Type of rant, and I apologize. And it means a lot to us that you do. Now, Owen Schroyer came out.
The real deal.
A man who was arrested for just being around the Capitol building, didn't go in, arrested, sent to solitary confinement under the FBI of Joe Biden. Lots of those agents still out there. Some of them even promoted for going after the J6ers under this new administration. Some of them are fired. As Bongino,
let me give you some quick backstory of Owen Schroyer. So he has a right to be mad at Trump more than most of us because he suffered because of Trump. He got arrested. He went to prison for a little short stint. I mean, he's been banned from things. I mean, because he believed in the MAGA message. And then when Trump did what he did and start the way he's doing his second term, all this disgusting behavior, it's people like Owen, that means they suffered for nothing. And he has a right to be really mad. But it's not just being mad. He's right in general. But it would hurt him more than maybe us because he had to suffer for it.
This is what Owen Schroyer said. Bongino shows...
He actually risked his freedom. He did lose his freedom because he believed in Trump's message, and then Trump lied to everybody. That's really tough to take.
So far has been telling his detractors how he owns them. No mention of Epstein files. Now an interview with Trump. And you would think, it's like, hey, this is what everyone's thinking about. And he's done a number of interviews. And I'm like, why isn't anyone asking him about the Epstein stuff, which he clearly lied about? Tim Pool came out and talked about how Rumble crashed during his debut here. And he's saying people are trying to silence Dan. He's so popular. And then people are like, look at the views, look at the views, look at the views, look at the views, look at the views. And I'm like, I have some serious questions about the legitimacy of those views. Cal Seraphin does as well, saying that totally isn't what happens if you pay for a bot network to swarm your live stream. Quote, right? Again, I don't know what's happening here. It's just a little weird, to say the least here.
Some is hate watching.
Sal Mayweather comes out saying, imagine being Dan, Cash, and Pam. You have full access to the Epstein files, ritualistic sacrifice of babies, torture, emails, photos, everything, and you choose to do nothing in order to protect politicians. Absolutely.
So Tim Pool was defending Dan Bongino. So what I'm not understanding is, why would Bongino have one viewer? I mean, maybe some are hate watching, maybe some are on because of Trump. But if this continues, that means we as just everyday voting citizens are pathetic. We're losers. If we can let someone like that get away with it. And now if Tim Pool, he's defending Dan Bongino, which was disgusting. So how could he have one viewer? I'm not talking about boycott. I'm saying you should be disgusted as just a tax-paying citizen or just any American citizen. Tim shouldn't have a viewer either, just because he's defending a disgusting slob like Dan Bongino. So I just don't get it. Why would viewers want to watch people like that? It doesn't make sense. Or go to the mainstream media then.
Now, let's not remember here, Dan Bongino told us that Epstein wasn't trafficking children, as there's emails saying he was doing so from a very specific address. Now, again, lots of emails being redacted here, lots of emails being published, and then deleted. It's just an entire mess on top of a mess. As individuals like Jake Shields are asking, what is the point of having the FBI if they're in possession of videos of things that are really bad and haven't made any arrests? Yeah. Now, Bongino kind of explains this as like a stage 10 decision. We'll go into that clip because I think it's worth looking into. And we got a little bit of an insight into trying to understand what's really going on here. Now, MTG has her own understanding of what's going on here.
I love that woman.
Specifically talking about some of Trump's friends, right? And then Howard Lutnick came out that he was lying about this. Elon was trying to go to the island. There's also Bill Gates. There's also Reid Hoffman.
This idiot.
There's also Les Wexner.
What's your hairdo? Are you bald or not, Dan?
Right? Now, in this full interview...
Cover the top part bald.
They were talking about how bad Joe Biden was. They were talking about how they cleaned up D.C. of low-level criminals. There's a lot of high-level criminals that now get to enjoy it a lot more. And that's just my...
Trump looks like rubber now.
Because, listen, Trump promised deep state arrests. Trump promised to hold the deep state accountable. The people talking the most about the deep state, who knew and had the receipts on them, were individuals like Dan Bongino. And he came into power, and a lot of us were very hopeful, very optimistic.
Guys, look, Trump betrayed you. I'm an ex-Trumper, but he betrayed you. I mean, he's going after, the only people he's going after and putting millions of dollars behind is Thomas Massey. And that guy's like exactly what we voted for. And MTG. That's who Trump's going after. Nobody else. Just them. He's just as disgusting as Dan. You know what, though? I'll feel better since they both won't have a good legacy when they leave.
Saying, yes, we're so excited to actually hold very powerful, bad people accountable. And it didn't happen. And it was a failure. And when you fail, you need to account for that. And a level 10 decision where no outcome would satisfy everyone. Now, he's saying this now.
Well, there was no outcome.
His explanations is
partial.
For a reason. But here he is.
This case had been handled poorly for a long time. And if you go and look at the search...
And you guys handled it poorly, extremely poorly. The poorest of the poor. Like, a long time, yeah. Since the 1990s, the FBI knew that there were predators out there, specifically Epstein, hurting children. Children came to the FBI in 1996.
Look at the search warrants and how they were scoped.
The search warrants were extremely specific, which was odd and weird, since, of course, if you're doing a search warrant investigation, like, you need to, like, narrow it down. But the way that they narrowed it down was absolutely insane. There was literally illegal stuff. So it was like, oh, yeah, we find something. It doesn't matter. We have to only look for this little specific thing and this little specific destination. It's like, what?
The case had issues for a really long time, so it obviously was a mess. And this is one of...
You hold those people accountable. Hey, you're the FBI. Children were coming to you. Why didn't you do anything? You're still at the agency? Or you're facing you have a pension? You have a retirement? Come in. We're going to interview you. That's how you handle it, right? It's like, wow, why didn't you guys act on this in the 1990s?
Same reason he's not acting on it now.
We didn't get that. All we got was, you're the bad guy for wanting to know what's going on here.
One of those level 10 decisions where I told you, you're not going to make everyone happy. There's a shitty answer and a shittier answer.
It looks to me, in my own personal opinion, they chose the worst, crappier answer for themselves, their reputation, their political capital, their political will.
The future of the Republican Party.
PR disaster after PR disaster that we've been warning about from the very beginning, saying that they're falling into a trap that's meant to destroy their reputation, specifically with the people in the middle.
Guys, you understand, like, after this mandate Trump had they played their cards right, I really do believe the Republican Party would have been in power for the next decade. I really do believe that. But since Trump decided to sell all of us out and just throw everything on its head and destroy everything, Republicans probably won't win another major election for a decade. Like, that was just so Trump can get his inner wishes fulfilled. I mean, that's exactly what he did. He could have chose us who voted for him, who actually was there for him, or the billionaires who already have the best lives on earth. And he wanted to be liked by a handful of billionaires more than us. I guess a handful of billionaires worth more than 300 million Americans. So that's the problem. He didn't just not keep his promises. He ruined the future of the party. And this was like the most perfect time to have finally fixed everything for the first time. And he did not care. He just let us go. And you can't stand for that. No.
The people in the middle that overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump because he was talking a big game about this.
And disagreements in D.C. about how to handle level 10 problems. I love how people in the media acted like this was like new, as if the Biden team had done anything to get this stuff out. They'd done shit. They had done nothing. Zero.
But they didn't campaign on it, idiot.
But they weren't the ones campaigning on holding these predators accountable. You guys were.
See, Danny's going into this whole thing about we can never make everyone happy. So no matter what, but that's the thing. You didn't make anybody happy. He's saying, oh, you can never make everyone happy. We're not talking about everyone. You didn't make anyone happy. So this argument is lazy.
we're not being told.
It's not going to happen. Period. There is no way. You saw it with all the stuff, the Epstein case, the other things we had to deal with. There is no decision you're going to make that is going to make everybody happy.
Yes, there is. You hold illegal predators who are hurting children accountable so they stop doing it. And you save a lot of children in the process. You clean the swamp. You get rid of the blackmail operations. You get rid of the extortion operations.
Well, what is he really saying then? Like, he shouldn't have, it's okay to not try because it won't make everyone happy. But that doesn't make sense. Usually you go for the best situation. Like the way they say, like he defends, the country that starts with the letter I about killing civilians. And then they say, well, they try their best. They warn people before they bomb a spot, which is not true. But my point is this. That's what they're saying. Oh, they're doing the best they can, even though they're not. But you get my point. Same with him. I mean, you can't make everyone happy, but you should have done the best you can, not nothing at all, because you can't make everyone happy. That's a lazy answer and it's disrespectful.
I did that.
Let's get back into this. Watch.
Okay.
I'm not sitting here going, hey, trust me, bro. I showed you. If you like it, great. If you don't,
You're saying literally trust me. You literally were making the argument saying, I can't tell you, I gotta hide information from you. You gotta trust me.
It's absolutely your constitutional right. You paid for it to go out and go, that sucked. I would have done something different. Okay, but you didn't. You didn't do anything different. I'm not sure if you volunteered to serve or not, but you didn't. You sat in the front row with your popcorn, ankle biting, throwing this popcorn at the ring at two guys in there sparring away, fighting for this country, while you did you just talked about it. So you didn't do anything. Now, I'm back on the air.
You didn't even last a year.
Take on every single thing in one day in one show. But I'm telling you right now, I'm done with it. The grifter bums, all you guys are.
Yep, you're the problem for noticing. You're the problem for
taking them serious
and seeing things with how they played out.
Are a class of doomers. Everything sucks all the time. You would have done it different. You didn't do
We weren't in the position to, you half-balled idiot.
The argument people were making are, why do you lie to us, bro?
I know. What are you talking about?
You made us blackpilled. You're the creator of the blackmail.
I mean, is he honestly going to sit there and say, well, why don't you guys do it? As if we all had the same opportunities in life. Like, okay, did Trump offer us deputy director? No, you fool. What is he talking about? I mean, then you shouldn't have taken a job if you weren't man enough to do it. Maybe that's why we wouldn't do it, or I think we would if we had a choice, but if we didn't, that'd be because we didn't think we could do it, or we wouldn't. Don't take on a job that you can't do, and then complain about it later on, and then say you didn't do it. Well, you didn't either, fool, and you were getting paid to do it, and you made a lot of money from it. Not us. We didn't make money from this grift. He's calling people grifters. He's a grifter. He's the one who made millions, and he's worth 125 million doing all this tough talk shit. Now he's saying, "Oh, well, you'd go do it."
You didn't volunteer. You didn't ask. You didn't give up your show to do. You did nothing. All you did was people and say nothing's happening. And then
there's a lot of people that accuse you of the same thing.
When we tell you, oh, it just happened, you move on to something else you say is not going to happen. And then when that happens, you move on to something else.
No.
There literally had to be a law passed by the Congress and Senate to release that.
I know. They could have done that.
Right.
Pathetic.
The administration is fighting tooth and nail, not to
Man, I think his brain is freezing from that lack of hair. He's not making sense. I'm not even trying to be funny. He's disgusting. Yeah, go talk. Okay, so have the cops do that. Some serial killers on the loose. The cops let him go because they made a mistake, and then they can go to the victims' families and say, "Well, you're not out there catching criminals, so are you serious? You took you swore in office." So that right there, all that, everything after the part he was sworn in after he became deputy director of FBI, and nothing matters after that. He took the job. He did. That means he said he was going to do the job, not cry about it later because he wanted his wife, mommy, and he wanted, to go back to his show because it's easy to do.
He's
totally full of Okay, there's some numbers. This was from an Epic Times here. Nothing.
Shame on him.
Again, like
loser.
Big critic here, former FBI agent. He's even talking about being all over the Epstein stuff. No, he's not. I watched most of the show. I haven't seen him talk about the big findings in there. There's a lot of big findings in the Epstein stuff, right? And Kyle Seraphin is, of course, going off here on his things. Hodge Twins says, I can smell the stress-induced body odor through the screen. Now, again, it's just an unfortunate situation, right? Looking at all of this and how it played out and how it's playing out here. Kyle Serafin also says, wait, President Trump was unhappy, then left the FBI? I thought it was always the plan. He would do a year, 9.5 months. And he's saying, well, that was a lie. Here's the portion with Bongino and Donald Trump.
In my lifetime, and frankly, probably any other lifetime either. President Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Like you don't know him?
Well, thank you very much, Dan, and you too.
All right, guys, really quick. I think Trump knew that Dan was useless as an FBI agent. And Trump's the reason he's useless. But anyways, my point is this. I think they thought, just cut your losses, send back Dan to the podcasting game before the midterm so he can do Trump's praises and try to help get positive PR going before the midterms. I think that's why. I think Dan wanted to leave anyways because he's a chicken, but I think Trump jumped on board, and that's why he's here on this interview to help Dan look good again and just do all this PR. Basically, mainstream media version for the left.
I was very unhappy when you left the FBI, but I was very happy that you have your show, which is so good. So I'm okay with this. Net neutral.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm kind of right.
A part of the plan, right? But Trump's like, I'm not happy with this. As people are still trying to make sense of, why did you really leave, right? Because, if you're patting yourself on the back, look what I did, look at all the great stuff I did. Why not continue doing that great stuff? Why not continue doing all the incredible things that you're doing, that you're so proud of?
I just gave you the answer.
Did you stop?
He's a coward, and
question.
Trump wanted him to be a cheerleader on the radio.
And Trump is not happy you left? You disappointed Trump?
Anyways, guys, there's really nothing more than that. It's kind of a long video today. Hopefully you watched it. But, like, share, subscribe.